So Amanda, you can tell me if we're live. Give me a thumbs up and make sure that we're actually where we're supposed to be.
We are good.
We're good. Awesome. Okay. So new year, new us, right? Or same old, same old. We're glad.
New year, old me.
Exactly. That's me. But the three of us haven't been on here for a while. It's been like Amanda and Tom. So this is all new. It's a new year with the three of us here. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. New year, new crew.
Exactly. So here we go. It's like Groundhog Day. I guess for Groundhog Day is in February, but we're having Groundhog Day. It's like year after year, here we are, giving some book recs. I'm so glad. I mean, I don't know if anybody even watched our Christmas one, which I just felt good doing it, just to not miss. And then Amanda and Tom and Patricia, thank you for coming on.
I saw them last week. I actually turned on. It was like, oh my God, I forgot they were on.
They were
I
on.
was
So
celebrating
for New Year's. And I think this year's a leap year, so I don't think we've got any of those problems coming for 2025 because Christmas, I think, will be on Tuesday or Wednesday. So then New Year's
Monday,
Eve and Christmas Eve will be Tuesday, I think. So we'll all be good. I'll be good. All right. Did you guys have a good holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
an eventful, how I like it.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. My husband and I were cracking up because we went up to Arrowhead to spend Christmas with our youngest daughter. And so we did that for like 3 or 4 days. And then my oldest daughter came out with her twin daughters and her wife. And they left on the 4th. I'm still like recuperating.
Twin granddaughters. Okay, look out.
10-month-old twin granddaughters.
Twins, were you out?
I'm old. So anyway, so I got 0 reading done. The last time I read I read the Christmas Guest, Peter Swanson.
Fun, right?
Perfect Christmas book.
Right. That's what I thought.
It was so good.
Couple of sittings, and it takes you there.
Yeah. I think I read it Christmas night and it was just like done. It was so good. Very well done. So that was a fun one. And then I started The Martyr, which Amanda talked about a couple weeks ago, and I just finished that. You all are in for a treat on that. That's coming the end of this month. So keep an eye out for that. All right. So let me do this for you all. And let's start with Gabe. So let's start with what's good with you and Harper for 2024.
Well, one of our biggest books this year is out really, really quickly and really early.
Yay, we like that.
And it is Anna O by Matthew Blake.
Oh.
And it's a creepy story. It's a psychological thriller. It is young Anna Ogilvy, who's a promising writer. And she goes to bed one night, goes to sleep, at some point gets up, kills 2 of her friends, a couple, goes back to sleep and remains that way. And they can't get her out of whatever coma. There's a name for this. I would look it up for you if I was a better person. But so then, of course, how do you solve a crime, or how do you solve this puzzle when the only person who was there who's alive is knocked out and out of it, and you can't wake her up? And so in comes the psychologist who's been studying this phenomenon, and it's up to him. So when you have an unreliable narrator, at least you have an unreliable narrator, and you have a POV, right? And it's tricky, but you kind of know there's something askew. When this case, he's putting the puzzle together like with nothing. So it's quite good. It's something that's a little bit different, which is what I like. It's a book that keeps you turning the pages. It's creepy as well. Sometimes you read these thrillers and there's a tension, but there's an extra little bit of creepy tension in this one as well, which only the best books have. So it is out now, and we're really excited. Reviews have been terrific. It got a starred Publishers Weekly. It got a starred book list. So the reviews are very strong for it, and we're excited to have it.
Oh, I love it. Sounds so good.
Yeah, that's a really creepy cover too.
I
Yeah,
know.
that cover. We
I
did some eye shades as a promotion with the eyes. It looks really creepy.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
doesn't need much, but boy,
Yeah, it's a simple looking cover, right? I mean, it's very, very simple, but it's effective.
yeah.
Super effective. Yeah, no, really good cover. And the premise, it was the Sleeping Beauty syndrome, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oof, yeah. So good. All right. Maybe that's what I should know. I guess, can I claim that as a defense?
I mean, once
Just
they
go to
poke you
sleep.
with a pin and you jump, it's all over for you.
God darn it.
I mean, like, it's cold, huh?
Damn it.
No, officer, I blacked out and I
I
woke
blanked
up and
out.
like bodies crumpled at my feet.
What happened? Oh, Carl's got a new book.
A new Marlantis. Oh,
Woohoo.
Carl Marlantis, In the House from Grove Press. This is Cold Victory, another um hefty historical fiction work from Carl Marlantis, the international and New York Times bestselling author of Matterhorn back in the day. This
Mhm.
one is we're at the brink of the Cold War at the end of World War II. It's set in Finland, and it's just a page turner of a novel, which you can expect from a international and New York Times bestseller. And Marlantis does not disappoint here. It's about each of the chapters are told by a different narrator, one of the main characters here, and then it goes back and forth, which is highly effective in this case. And it revolves around a long distance ski race held between a US and Russian diplomat, the results of which will have life and death consequences for many people, and extend and kind of propulse circumstances beyond the circle of the people that are in this story. So there's a lot going on. The tension is great. He really holds the reader's attention quite nicely as something. You can feel the foreboding, and then some stuff happens. So I'm not going to tell you anything else because I don't want to be a spoiler here at all. It's just a great novel. Excellent cover. Check that out.
Yeah, great cover.
And it is on sale officially tomorrow, but it's already in stores. And I do believe that there is a 10 copy signed carton. So there's about 10 copies signed at the store right now, plus some extra loose copies.
Awesome.
So run on down and get it, or call up one of the booksellers and put this on hold.
Good way to start January. It's cold. It's
Yeah.
a good atmospheric
Well,
read.
it's cold here. I'm all like bundled up. It's cold.
And he is such a great guy. I had the pleasure of meeting him at a Winter Institute a few years ago. Great guy, great storyteller.
Very good storyteller. He's a great nonfiction writer as well. He's got all the chops, and he is a nice guy. So
Yeah. Awesome.
extra
Extra
bone.
good. Extra good. Glad to
Yeah,
have another
very
book by
good.
him. I see that Leaf Anger has a new book coming too.
Yes.
It's
I cheerfully refuse. I'll be talking about that later.
later. Yeah. I'm trying to prep for Winter Institute for this year. So
That's a good one.
yeah, looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabe, what do you got for us next?
I've got I think a really fun book. It is a little piece of nonfiction. Where are you? Shoji Morimoto, Rental Person Who Does Nothing. So this is a memoir. It is an interesting experiment. Shoji was actually being told by his boss, it makes no difference whether you're here or not. Your presence contributes nothing. and he started to think about it. And of course, he's a thoughtful person, so he made it kind of a Zen thing. His question was whether a person who does nothing could still have actual value. So he started this service, kind of like the challenge, the gauntlet has been thrown, and he decided to start this service for doing nothing. So he literally put an ad in like Craigslist that said rental person is dependable, non-judgmental, committed to remaining a stranger, and the curious encounters he shares are revelatory about both Japanese society and human psychology. So basically, if you are one of those people who can't eat alone, but you want to go out for dinner, you could rent Soji and he'll sit next to you and he'll, do nothing, just sit there with you and be comfortable. If you go to a ball game, he'll go with you. It is about companionship. I think when the pandemic came out, there were all these studies about loneliness, or further studies, and as people were like more isolated, and the whole loneliness and being alone issue kind of percolated to the top of the issues that we were dealing with. He actually started this before the pandemic. So he was all set and settled when that happened. So this is not a byproduct of the pandemic, something he thought of earlier, but it sort of played into during the pandemic and beyond that, where he was up and around with people who, let's just go for a walk in the public gardens, and that's, you go, says nothing, does nothing, just hangs with you. It's all very Zen. It's all very organic. So fun little memoir. It's got a great price at $21.99. You're not going out on a limb. And the Japanese literature is doing really well.
I was just going to say, yeah,
having a moment. I mean, Irish novels, Italian writers, Irish writers, and we're doing quite a bit of Japanese fiction at Harper, and it's all doing just. I mean, I just saw your bestseller list. Before the Coffee Gets Cold is back on your top 10 after 3 years, 4 years.
I know. No, it definitely has got it's having its moment. And
what you're looking for is in the library, sold out the first printing like immediately, and the second printing immediately, because people had accumulated back orders, and we just can't, having a hard time keeping up with that. The Cat Who Saved Books.
Yep.
Another book that you guys sold a lot of.
No, it's really good. This sounds fascinating. This person. Yeah.
It's just really, it's a quirky little book that there's seekers out there, and there's people who the solitude thing. There's a lot of people who are the solitude thing. So this plays on both audiences.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit about, I think it's like somewhere in one of the Scandinavian countries where there's like a library where people just sit in the library that people can come up and have conversations with.
Conversations about you.
Yeah. So yeah. Super interesting.
You know what? I see that happen. I'm in bookstores all the time, and somebody reaches for a book, and then people are organically having these conversations in bookstores all the time. It's fun.
It's awesome. Good one. Okay, Andrea, what do you got next?
Invisible Woman, a novel by Kaa Leaf. She's got a lot of novels behind her, but we really think that she is poised to break out with this one. This is from Atlantic Monthly Press, Grove Press's sister publishing concern. And when is this out? This comes out tomorrow as well. Hardcover at $27. A dangerous secret that has been held between estranged friends for too long begins to fester. While a marriage between our protagonist and her husband falls apart. This all comes together to disastrous effect in that somebody dies. And basically, I'm not really spoiling this, because basically in the opening sentences of this truly page-turning wonder of a novel, our protagonist basically admits that she's going to kill her husband. There is a lot of professional jealousy between them. They're both creatives. You know what? I hate using adjectives of nouns. They're both in the creative class. Okay, is that
There you go.
better?
That's
Okay,
better. Yeah.
thank you. And it really, really like it just heats up immediately, and it just was like it goes at a feverish pace like the entire time. In my notes, they're saying that this is firmly published into the growing feminist thriller category. So there you go. Who knew that there was a growing feminist thriller category? But we've got it here. We're publishing it at the Zeitgeist with this. There's some great early blurbs. This one's pretty good here. Alex Finley, best-selling author of Every Last Fear, says, Kaa Leaf's Invisible Woman is a stunning achievement. It's not only a taut thriller with a jaw-dropping twist, but also a literary exploration of the complexities of marriage and friendship, and a timely tribute to women who were silenced for all too long. The novel will stay with you long after you finish the last page, and it's really true. We're excited about this one. We think it's going to get a lot of reviews and a lot of word of mouth. And if you're in a book group who is not afraid to choose hardcovers, this is one for your group. I think it's going to have a lot of good discussion around it. So
Sounds really good.
yeah.
Sounds like a good
Sounds
one.
really
And like
good.
Amanda was saying, the cover is great. It's a great cover.
It really is. They nailed it. And I do believe that this is from an artist who Grove works with a lot, who is very talented, and the daughter of the founder of Publishers Group West, which I worked with for 25 years now. And so it's, all in the family here.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. We got lightning round. I guess we don't have to be too lightning. We're going pretty fast today. So, Gabe, you can pontificate away.
I'm not a pontificator. I share a lot of knowledge. I drop a lot of knowledge on pontificating. All right, interesting. Sorry, email's coming over. So
Emails.
one of our big novels coming from Harper this winter is River East, River West, also publishing very early in the season. This is a book that it's the reverse East-West migration. So usually we hear about characters coming from China to America, having the American experience and being the outsiders here. This novel is a twist in the tale, in the tale there, where the characters actually live in China, and so it's a dual timeline. So there's a kind of a double narrative. Shanghai 2007, we've got a 14-year-old Alva, is a young mixed race. She's got a Chinese father, an American mother, who has lived in China forever, and they're still living in Shanghai, obviously here. And they that's where they're making their life. Alva longs to go to America. She just wants to go to America, figures there's a better life there. That's her dream. But unfortunately, her mother meets Lu Fang, who is a wealthy property owner. He's got a lot of real estate. He makes his money off his rents. He's pretty well off, and her mother gets together with Lu Fang, so they're destined to stay. Her hopes are dashed, and so she decides, what's the next best thing? Well, she's got a stepfather with money, so how about the American school? And they enroll her in the American school, where she's an outsider, an absolute outsider, because she's mixed race, and these schools are obviously upper echelon diplomats' kids, upper middle class people, Americans, old school money, that kind of thing, family ties, etc., school ties. So she's an outsider there, and trying to find her way. So then we jump back to 1985, and we get to see Lu Fang, her stepfather, as he comes out of the Cultural Revolution, and life is changing for everybody, and young men have to find their way, and you still have these traditional roles where you're the provider, you're the man, you're the head of the house, blah blah blah. and but the world is very different from coming out of Mao's world. So it is set in Shanghai. It is set, as I said, from 87 to 2007 thereabouts. And it's a very different China. I was lucky enough to work with Carolyn C on a few books in the early 90s, in the mid 90s with Harper. And she was telling me, we talk all the time, and her husband is a lawyer who was one of the early business people in China. And she'd talk about how the changes, from the mid 80s to the mid 90s even were huge, from like no cars to like traffic jams and smog, and it moved very, very quickly. So this is kind of the world. It happened quick. So this is the world that they're inhabiting. It's moving really fast for these people who are coming out of this, Mao communism into a sort of a more open environment. And how do you handle it? It's
right. Had to be crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I would imagine, all of a sudden there's capitalism. All of a sudden you could like make money. And I mean, there's so much money in China.
Yeah.
Investments in China, foreign, and not only the US, but then China building like roads in Africa and roads in the Middle East. And they're doing a lot of dams and stuff in these poverty-stricken. It's interesting what's going on with China.
Yeah. But no, it's just in that short of a time period. How quickly it switched.
Their influence too. They were very isolated, and now they have so much influence.
So much influence.
So this book, it's fiction, and it's none of the, none of that real stuff that we're dealing with. But it's very personal, and it is. I just thought it was kind of brilliant in the way I picked it up. Honestly, I'm like, I probably read this stuff before, and it felt very like something I started reading it and I go, it's like something I've already read a bunch of times, but it's not. It really wasn't, and that's what I liked about it. It's got a lot of meat.
Sounds very good. Okay, Andrea, close us out.
Okay, I'm going to talk about a children's book, Colores. This is from Groundwood Books. Jorge Lujan is teamed up here with Piet Grobler, and this is the first time that this is out in trade paperback. It was first published in 2008, and it just sold and sold and sold and sold and sold in hardcover. So they were like, why put it in paperback? But it's great to see this now in paperback for teachers and librarians, as well as grandmas and aunties and parents that just are looking for a value book of some note here. So if your kid is learning Spanish, this is a great book. It's in parallel text. It's got just these gorgeous flowing watercolors. And I don't know if I can, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, really interesting work.
Yeah, it is very interesting work. And it's the rhyming verse is really beautiful. And I think this is a winner. I think it's going to sell for a long time in paperback now. And we really think that this is a modern classic. That's how we feel. I mean, look at this. It's just
gorgeous.
Beautiful work. And there's copies at Warwick's, and I just think it's a winner at $14.99 trade paperback now.
I'd never seen that. That's beautiful.
I know, it's gorgeous.
Really, really different.
It really is, and it's a great gift for kids who are just starting out learning Spanish, and it is for grades preschool through first grade, 3 to 6 ages.
Awesome.
Well, I'm gonna pick up a copy. I'm a little older than that.
Yeah, I know. It might help me. It might help me learn some Spanish.
If you split my ages, yeah.
Yeah, well, and it is so. I mean, I think this book is so beautiful. Like anybody who's interested in like poetry and like the art is great. So
the art is great. Yeah, I'd have it. I every once in a while I pick up a book that captures my fancy like that. A kid's book that's just beautiful like that.
Yeah.
really something a little different. It really is beautiful.
Yeah, and that's from Groundwood Books and they do some great stuff. They're one of our Canadian stalwarts, and that program is just amazing. And so it's nice to see this out in paperback.
Awesome. Well, Gabe, you were talking about our bestseller list. Okay, Ann Patchett, Tom Lake continues to be on our bestseller list, which is just awesome because I love that book and love her. And Covenant of Water, still making our bestseller list. So
yeah, that is you know, and it's still hanging on to the New York Times bestseller list too.
Yep.
I mean, it's just that has staying power, and for that big of a doorstop book, that's really nice to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perennial classic. So yeah, some good stuff that we've talked about quite a bit, but still on the bestseller list, even at work.
Tom Lake and Barbara Kingsolver Will Not Quit. Remarkably Bright Creatures back on the bestseller list after 2 years now. I can't keep track how long it's been. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So, but there's so many good books coming out. My stack, I've got so much to read. Amor Towles has a new book coming out. It's just, there's so many great authors that have stuff coming. Can't wait for Winter Institute this year. It's happening, I think, in about a month, going out to that. So we'll have some good stuff, some good new things to talk about then too.
Yep.
So with that, another week of good recommendations. Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, Andrea, for coming in.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the invite, Julie.
Absolutely. We'll see. Happy reading, and we'll see everybody next week.
Next week.
Bye.